Very good morning to all my attendees. Thank you for joining me in this broadcast. And I'm doing my broadcast for the 12th of September. The time is 10 a.m. in Melbourne. And again, it is my privilege and pleasure to speak to you once again and to discuss on the progress of TBC. Uh, Thank you for being faithfully attending my conference. And thank you for the regular attendees who are here. It is so encouraging to see the support that you're giving. And I will be more than happy to continue to interact with you on a daily basis uh, as and when I am available. Definitely, I will try to avail myself and I will try and give you a slot every day. Sometimes out of personal programs, I need to be out, and then I would have to postpone the broadcast. Well, for the last 1 month, I have been having a cough that has put me down, where I was out of action for more than 2 weeks. But now I am back, and even though I'm still having the tail end on the cough, I will try and make it more pleasant in my presentation by not having too many interruption of the coughing bouts. Now, a lot of us are wondering and looking out to have more cash flow, and admin is very, very aware of this. And admin and the leaders have been uh, pushing the program for uh, fast cash track, and all the leaders have been broadcasting and advocating, encouraging us to become participants in the fast track uh, cash reward. So the admin has come up with some very ingenious tools, and one of it is the is the setting up of cash centers worldwide. Now, imagine that the cash centers are like ATM centers, and those who are running the cash centers would have the opportunity to cash out on their TBC coins by selling them to the new members and also to convert them for the new members. While we are looking at this, some of us who are yet uncertain or who are not clear about the setting up of these cash centers, you may be wondering, what good can I be as a cash center if I have only $10 in Bitcoin? The answer is quite simple. It is not just because you have $10 or $100 or $1,000 in Bitcoin. That is not the only advantage, but the main advantage is you are located in your own unique location. You may be in a city, you may be in the suburb, you may be in the smaller counties. It is where you are that make you unique. Your location is your advantage. Why? Think about how many people live within 1 hour drive from your location. As I said, you may be living in a suburb that is far away from the city. And there are people who are living around you who find it so difficult to go to the city, but they would be more than happy to get in touch with you and come to your location, right? And we see that even as the global TBC community continues on the invitation to bring new members the, into the community, They are working on promoting TBC as a program globally on the internet and on the social media. Now, the internet and the social media are borderless. That is to say, there is no limitation of whom they can reach out to, where they can reach out to, when they can reach out to. They actually reach out to the people in the internet 24/7 and all around the world. So there is a good chance that at some point within the near future, one of our TBC members or leaders, they may sign up someone that is located not too far away from you. And if you have not yet set up a cash center before this happens, then there is a possibility that the seller of TBC would lose the sale because people don't always have a common way to send money over country borders. In other words, not all the countries in the world accommodate and facilitate transfer of currencies cross borders. And some countries do not allow many of these exchanges. For example, even like PayPal, they are quite limited. Countries in the third world will have limited facilities, whereas countries that are in the developed world will have full facilities. Also, we have seen that for cryptocurrencies trading, many of the countries in the world do not have it as yet. And so when this happens, the people who signs up in these countries for the TBC program will be limited in their accessibility to the facilities to change their local currencies into cryptocurrencies, and they would also be limited in their facilities to transfer and to transmit their currencies. So this is where you come in. You become a cash center and you become a service center, and you can then service those people who are located near you or within your vicinity. So therefore, your location is the important key to the whole equation. All right. So now we have somebody here within our community, and his name is Erickson. And he is the cash center specialist who will connect you as soon as possible to a Bitcoin supplier near you. That way, when the need arises, you can collect the cash from the buyer and the supplier can send the seller the Bitcoin. And you can forward the cash minus your commission to the supplier. And therefore, with this arrangement, everybody becomes a winner. There is no loser, and everybody put in a part of their effort and make the completion of the transaction a success. Sometimes the seller may lose the sale because there is no one nearby to facilitate the conversion of the currencies for the new member. But if you happen to be the cash center that is within reach, that is within an hour's drive or even a phone call away, then you can be the facilitator for the new member and the buyer. You become the middleman, and you connect the two together. So, but instead, the sale uh, took way more effort on the part of the seller, and it caused a delay in the transaction because the seller is a distant away. He or she may not be able to help to make the physical transaction. So you being the cash center that is nearby, you would come in and you would speed up all kinds of sales happening near you. So over time, As the population of the TBC community continue to grow and multiply, the need for a cash center will also grow bigger and bigger, even more than it is today. That's right. A week from now, a month from now, a year from now, there'll be more people asking and needing the services of a care center. Now, this is what we want. Health comes from growth. And as the growth for the TBC community speed up, we would become a healthy community, a healthy family, and we would be able to help one another to achieve our dream. The sooner we get to 1 billion members, the sooner all of the value of our TBC wallets become unlocked, and TBC within it becomes 100% spendable everywhere. So this is the vision, and this is the mission, that TBC uh, continue to grow and propagate until we reach 1 billion members target. When that has been achieved, when that is become a reality, and from what what admin has interpolated, it may be about 1 or 2 years from now. So we do not know exactly the timing. Let it be even 2.5 or 3 years from now. But when we get there, that means to say every single coin that we have in our TBC wallet will become 100% spendable, and it would achieve its full value of being 1 billion euro or 1 billion grain of gold. So what do you think? The sooner we get there, the better it would be, isn't it? So even if all of you have just $10 in Bitcoin, that is good enough to start a cash center. Contact Ericsson and have him help connect you to a local supplier near you. And you can send him a friend request in the Facebook at ericsson.biz.a. That is his ID in the Facebook. Now, suppose if you have $500 of Bitcoin or more, you would be considered a supplier. Ericsson will assist you in finding all of the small cash centers within your reach, and you can set up agreements with each of them. The bigger the network is, the more coin you will move. So you are then guaranteed of at least a 10% profit, right? So if you want to know more about this, there is this blog that has been posted that explains everything. So today, as you and I take the necessary steps to start our own cash center, today we would become part of TBC history as one of the greatest day ever. You know, every single day things happen, and every single day we see progress, because in life there must be progression, in life there must be growth. So look at the world population today. 99.9% of the world population have not yet entered into the cryptocurrency space, and TBC will lead the way in changing that. Yes, TBC is going to be the premier coin, the premier cryptocurrency in 2-3 years' time, when we have reached our target of 1 billion users and 1 billion owners. TBC by itself is a learning curve for many of our new members. And as time goes on, most of our new members will enter the world of cryptocurrency using and experiencing TBC to be their first experience. It has been complicated up to a certain point, up to a certain extent to bring in new members that have zero experience with cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, because each cryptocurrency has its own learning curve to pass through. Now, I remember when I first came into Bitcoin several years ago, when I was introduced into the Bitcoin program, I was completely ignorant of what happened and what needs to be done. But I had a friend, I had a leader who patiently walked me through the process of setting up the Bitcoin blockchain and also the process of purchasing Bitcoin and the process of transferring and confirming Bitcoin. And of course, every one of us would need to also go through this process. And uh, TBC has been programmed in such a way that admin has made it even more and more user-friendly in our blockchain. Now, admin only accepts BTC, or rather Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum for payment of the $1 fee, admin fee for now. And up until now, new members need to pass through a couple of learning curves in the cryptocurrency space in order to get started with TBC. Yes, TBC does not leave you alone. The TBC does not throw you into the deep end of the water, but TBC would take you by the hand and would guide you and teach you to be able to set up your back office safely and to be able to take you through the process of becoming a member. In fact, TBC has set up all the tools and also the facilities like leadership, the uh, leaders, and also now we are having centers that are there to teach, guide, and also to train. Apart from that, we also have the daily 24/7 broadcasts by the leaders of TBC globally. And you can just go to the broadcast section of the back office, click on any of them, and you will be able to learn so much more from the broadcast in different languages. Today, TBC has launched the cash centers around the world, so that new members will not have to wonder how to get another cryptocurrency in order to participate in TBC. As I said earlier, the TBC program accepts Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum as payment, and it is flexible. And anyone who can get hold of either of these three coins would be able to register. But in the event that if they are new, completely new to the cryptocurrency usage, they can then come to you as the cash center, and you can become the local exchange center, the local cash center where they can exchange currencies into crypto coins to make the payment, and also you can then help them to supply the know-how to send the bitcoins or the cryptocurrencies to the sellers who may be located at the other side of the world. Now understand that the cash center will not be a physical business, as it were, not a hard brick and mortar business that you set up an office, you have furnitures, you have all your staff and all that. No, 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 it doesn't need to be so sophisticated. The cash centers operate on a personal to personal basis, on a peer to peer basis in the cryptocurrency world. All transactions will be private. And these cash centers are not acting as public exchange. That's right. We are not listed publicly, but we are listed within the TBC community. We are listed to service our TBC membership only, and we are a private member only group. So we have our own private money called TBC, and our objective is to promote and to sign up 1 billion members over the next year or two. Now, these cash centers that we are looking at do not offer their services free of charge. There is a 2% fee to use these cash centers, which the buyers holding cash will pay. Of course, services comes with a fee. There is no free service these days. There is always an overhead, running cost, and time cost, and also opportunity cost. So it is only fair that the cash centers will charge a 2% fee. Even if when we go to the post office to go and do a transaction, the post office will charge you a service charge of a certain percentage. Similarly, the bank would also charge you a certain percentage as service charge. But in this case, we, the cash centers, we would also implement and levy a service charge of 20%. Now, by doing so, this will save the buyers both time and possibly money, because you can take a bit of time to go through the learning curve on how to buy BTC or Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. These are all based on the coin market, uh, and the coin market by itself is very volatile. And cryptocurrencies can rise or drop drastically within a day or even within hours. Well, I personally have experienced this. I have seen the rise of the cryptocurrencies going up and down. And while I was sitting on my chair, pondering and considering whether to buy or not to buy, the price fluctuation would have affected my decision. So if you are a newbie, if you are a new member and know nothing about buying and transferring cryptocurrency, it will be the best and the easiest for you to go to a cash center and to pay in cash and to use this and to complete your transaction just for a very small fee of to 20%. In other words, when you buy $10 uh, cryptocurrency, you only pay $2 as service charge. That is not very much. All right. If it is $100, you pay $20. It's still not very much. Okay. So if a buyer just want to pay $10 admin fee, they will only need $12 cash in hand in order to use a cash center. Better still, if the buyer wants to also complete a purchase of $100 from a TBC seller who is long distance and at the other end from the buyer location, and on top of paying the 10% admin, the buyer needs to pay only $132 in cash to complete the transaction. 20% of the $100 is $20, and 20% of the $10 is $2. So when you total all this up, it will be for a total of $132. All right. So upon paying the cash center, the buyer will get $110 in transaction and is paid in full regardless of the movement of the price of the market-based coin. In other words, if the Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum move up or down, the new buyer would not have to worry about it. Okay? The cash center would have to hold and take the difference. So the 20% that is proposed here should be more than enough to cover the fluctuation in price of these market-based coins so that the cash centers is still profitable. Therefore, everybody wins. So there's no loser in this instance. Now, a point to note is this. When a new member wants to make payment to the admin, and once he logs into the back office and key in the amount to be paid. The transaction of payment to admin must take place within 15 minutes of selecting a coin payment, and this should be done during the meet up with the cash center and not before, because if you delay too long, after 15 minutes, the coin value has changed too much to be accepted as the amount shown in the back office. So always make sure that you only initiate the process to pay when the coins can be delivered online within that 15 minutes window. So remember, if you pay your $10 and the price drops to $8, then admin will be losing out, and that would not be very nice. So as a member of TBC, if you own at least $10 in any of the 3 coins that we have encouraged and recommended you, then you can consider having your own cash center and enjoy the profits coming out of it. Remember that everything starts small and then it will grow. So we want to establish, admin now here says, we want to establish a very large global network of cash centers as fast as we can as a community. The more cash centers, the better. Between the 3 send button meetings we now hold weekly, we have about 10,000 viewers per week. That means to say we have got the potential of 10,000 new members per week. If all these new members, or if all these viewers open a cash center, then we have a strong global network of cash centers. That is what I'm hoping will happen. So for goodness sake, don't hesitate to open up a cash center. Our members are recruiting globally. And any one of them would be trying to recruit one of your neighbors. And if you are a cash center, you might be the best choice to complete the needed transaction for a 20% profit in cash. Immediately you win. Looking forward, as we go along the line, imagine no matter where a new member may live, there possibly can be a cash center just a few miles away from them. So if you want to register to become a cash center, you must make sure that your send button in your TBC wallet be turned on, which means you have paid the 10% fee to admin and you are in good standing with the TBC community. Go to the send button area of your back office, and at the bottom of the menu, click send button and select cash center registration and fill out the form. Carefully fill out the form with accurate information, especially the physical address part. We are using a Google Maps API, and when you fill in the address, it will pop up some known addresses, and you need to select the correct one in order for the map to work properly. Like it or not, say on the form, don't use, like it says on the form, don't use your home address. That is not safe. Use an address of a coffee shop or some other safe place, public place to meet near you. The address fields will automatically fill you in when you do this right away. Use Find Address to engage the Google Map software that will fill in the address for you. Okay? Now, there is a small box to tick before you click Submit button. Integrity is an absolute, and it must be in order to run a, a cash center. Sellers need to have confidence that the cash centers will not steal their clients from them. We all recruit globally, and cash centers will make this a lot easier for all of us as long as we can count on honesty and integrity within our TBC family and community. So even if the buyer suggests that they rather do business with you directly as a cash sender and cut out the seller, you must always say no. Otherwise, the seller can easily report your abuse and your send button will be turned off and we will close your cash center. All right. So this is the last and final warning. Sellers, if this abuse happens to you, click on Help Desk in the Kringle Cash back office and open an abuse ticket and report in detail with screenshots of chat sessions and such to support. We will then reach out to the cash center and get their side of the story as well as the buyer. Justice will be served. Now, we had many cash centers registration before we added the Google Map app API. And we need all of those members that have already registered the cash centers to edit their physical address in order to resolve the map. Just click the link that leads back to the form and fix it. You can check on any cash center in our system by clicking on your account in the Kringle Cashback office and select Make Payment with Cash at a cash center and check on yours to make sure that the map works properly. Here is an example of how it should look. The map allows you to zoom and to go to the satellite version to see it. If you own large amounts of BTC or LTC or ETH, you are in a strong position to profit from building a network within our cash center network, and that is being encouraged. Now, it will be a network within a network, and admin has done the hard part for you. Start with your country and contact all the registered cash centers and offer to supply them coins to complete transaction. Remember, we are only asking members to have $10 of any coin to open a cash center because we want to build up the network as fast as possible. So one by one, contact the cash center starting within your country and see if there's a way for them to forward money to you, like with PayPal or a mutual bank you both use. And if they can easily send you money, then you can be their cryptocurrency supplier. You should get half of the 20% of the cash center collects from the buyer as a fee, and that is 10% profit for both of you. Have an agreement with them in writing to be safe. And once a buyer contacts one of our cash centers in your network, and the cash centers need access to your coins immediately, work out the arrangement of how you will get reimbursed for your coins and the 10% fees that belong to you before the buyer meets with the cash center. Then follow that plan exactly. If a cash center is ever dishonest and doesn't follow the plan laid out in a chat or email, then report them as abuse as described in earlier. So don't take risks, start small with each cash center and build up the trust. Most transactions should be for $110. And if it is much larger than that, take the necessary precaution to make sure your money is safe, like getting paid upfront before you send the coins. And if you own large amount of coins, you should open an account with a major exchanger like Bitstamp, which allows you to quickly move coins into USD or euros to protect yourself from falling prices in these market-based coins. Most of us that have large amounts of coins have already figured that out. But these small cash centers don't own enough coins to be concerned about that. And a small cash center should be happy with the 10% they get just for being a location close to the buyer because they don't have enough coins to cover the buyer's needs. Suppliers like you are an important part of this plan to spread cash centers quickly all around the world. So just be smart. Abundance for all is the best idea. Abundance for all is a good idea. abundance for all is a great idea. But as you can see, honesty and integrity are necessary in order to transform the whole world into one where we can enjoy this idea. There is no shortage of the need to emphasize and re-emphasize on honesty and integrity. And sadly, there are too many scammers in the internet space today, and it is more advisable for everyone who is operating uh, in the internet space or who is within our TPC family and community to walk cautiously and also to be wary of people who are dishonest, who would want to come and steal your money, and who would want to uh, make your life miserable. Now, this is a very important topic that I have dealt with today. The topic of cash centers, their values, their services, their advantages, and also the prospects of making long-term money just being a service center and a cash center. I trust that my short broadcast has again been of value and you have learned a bit from it. So if you have learned, I would welcome you to come back to my broadcast on a daily basis and we would progress on this journey of TBC together. I would think this is all I have to say for today. And I would want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for attending my broadcast. Thank you for listening to my broadcast. And I wish you well. I wish you success. Goodbye for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. John signing off from Melbourne. Thank you.